6:14, time now to say good Friday morning to Kris McCusker, who's been in for Mike Epple for part of this week. Good morning, Kris, and happy Friday.
Good morning. Yay, Friday.
We made it. We made it as usual. Friday now, we're going to have some job numbers coming out. That's what you're going to be keeping an eye on for later today.
Yeah, and markets are going to be watching this as well very closely, Tammie. The U.S. jobs report is going to be of particular note just because the U.S. Federal Reserve hiked interest rates this week. The next meeting is not until December, so this jobs report will be part of the considerations going forward. And the Fed did signal that there are more hikes likely coming. The aggressiveness, let's say, on those hikes is going to lie with, data points between now and then, including this jobs report today. Now, we are seeing U.S. futures moving higher. We did get a report out of China once again that it is considering rolling back its COVID zero policy. So that's providing a lift to sentiment, although we also heard that earlier this week. Bay Street coming off 2 losing days, and it too is going to have a jobs report to consider. Now in Canada, there's been talk about recession. Our Bank of Canada did suggest that in its latest statement, and then we heard that from the federal finance minister yesterday as part of that fiscal update. So we'll see what the October jobs report looks like on this side of the border. As far as Bay Street is concerned, out of that news from China, we're seeing a lift in commodities today, so that should provide a lift to the TSX.
All right. Moving on to Elon Musk in Twitter. So I think it was last week that he said, no mass layoffs happening. Everything's going to be okay. This week and today particularly, it's a different story.
Yeah, and we're talking about half the Twitter workforce, according to these reports, Tammie. Half. Can you imagine being an employee at Twitter right now and you're sitting there wondering if you're going to get the email or not?
Right.
Like it's terrifying. So what we are hearing is that half of the workforce is going to be laid off. We're talking about 3,700 people. And in fairness, Elon Musk did say that he was planning to slash costs after acquiring the platform for $44 billion. Now, at the same time, we're also learning about a class action lawsuit that's being filed because workers say that these layoffs are coming without enough notice. Now, another interesting side here, General Mills and Audi are now the latest advertisers to pause ads on Twitter as questions swirl about the social media platform operating under a new owner. Last week, General Motors announced it had temporarily paused its ads on Twitter while it works to understand Twitter's Musk-led direction. That's kind of a loaded sentence, yes.
Yeah, and I've heard with the Twitter layoffs today, you're being told to stay home and wait for an email to come to either your personal email or your work email. If it's work email, you're good. Personal email, not so good.
Can you imagine?
No.
Seriously, seriously, it's scary.
Yeah, very, very scary. Lastly, Kris, we have Lowe's making some moves here in Canada.
Yeah, so what we're hearing is that Lowe's is selling the Canadian retail business to a New York-based private equity firm, Sycamore Partners, for $400 million US. Now, Lowe's Canadian arm is based in Quebec. It operates or services about 450 corporate and independent affiliate dealer stores under a number of banners. That includes Rona, Reno Depot, and Dick's Lumber. So the Lowe's CEO, Marvin R. Ellison, says the sale is an important step towards simplifying the Lowe's business model. Now, the deal expected to close in early 2023, and it will establish Lowe's Canada and Rona as a standalone Quebec-based company. So a minor adjustment, let's say, although, again, with new ownership, you never know.
You never know. Musk-led regime. All right. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Kris, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care.